Testing for sulfates. We are going to make a test to prove that this ion is sulfate by an experiment or steps that should be followed to assure that this ion is sulfate. So we will see what are these steps for testing the sulfate. Also, we will discuss the equation, which is barium plus sulfate produces barium sulfate. So, page 96, testing for sulfates. Testing for sulfates. The first step, sulfate in pure water. Sulfate is a powder. Add it into the pure water. Second, add dilute hydrochloric acid to make it acidic. After mixing sulfate with water, they form a solution. So we add to this solution dilute hydrochloric acid to make it acidic. Then add barium chloride solution. After mixing the sulfate with water and adding hydrochloric acid, we will add barium chloride solution. So what will happen? A reaction will occur between barium chloride and the sulfate. A sulfate will produce a white precipitate of barium sulfate. So, as we have said, a reaction will happen between barium and sulfate to produce barium sulfate precipitate, which is colored white. The reaction between them forms this ionic equation, which is barium plus sulfate produces barium sulfate solid, which means precipitate. But why do we add here hydrochloric acid to the sulfate and not directly sulfate to the water, then barium chloride? Why do we add acid? Why do we make the solution acidic? The answer is simply we acidify the solution to destroy other compounds which may also produce white precipitate when we add the barium chloride. So we add hydrochloric acid, making the solution acidic in order to destroy all other compounds in the sulfate that may react with barium chloride and give white precipitate. To be assured more that the sulfate alone reacts with barium to produce barium sulfate and not other unknown compounds. So why do we acidify the solution? To destroy other compounds which may also produce white precipitate when we add the barium chloride. So this is the test for sulfate.